Well, we'll see what happens with QT Marshall. We'll stay on top of that story. Jim, this one's a rather quick one, an AEW drama story. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You may remember her. She was an AEW original. She was a world champion. She was a babyface, and that wasn't working. They turned her heel. It was really bad, and then suddenly it clicked, and it worked.
And then it went on too long.
And she hasn't been seen in quite a while. Here's a tweet from her as we are recording November 29th, 2023, 9:49 p.m. So this was during Dynamite. Tonight's AEW Dynamite. MJF live promo time, 7 minutes. Christian Cage live promo time, 10 minutes. All of 2023 on AEW Dynamite, Britt Baker live promo time, 0 minutes.
Well, that brings it right into perspective, doesn't it? It's November 30th. In 11 months, she hadn't had a promo on it. Remember when we couldn't avoid her talking on that program?
That doesn't even seem like it could be possible. It's been that long that she hasn't been on that show talking in the back, at least.
Well, think about it. It's been a while. And because remember, Adam Cole was gone for quite some time and then came back for very little time and now is injured again, even though he still won't go away. I had assumed at one point that you didn't see Adam Cole, you didn't see Britt Baker because she's home taking care of Adam Cole, right? And that would make sense. Now Adam Cole is back, and even though he's still in need of being taken care of, and has just had, delicate surgery or whatever, apparently she wants to get back to work. And I get, is it creative has nothing for you? Creative has nothing for anybody. That doesn't stop him from just booking people constantly. So I wonder what's the heat there? What's the heat? Where's the heat, as Larry Latham would say?
What are your thoughts on a talent, unless they're directed to or told they're allowed to by the office, this specific kind of tweet, putting out a tweet like this? Because all it does is, there's no positive spin to this, unless it's, like I said, part of a story. And again, there's no positive spin to the company doesn't treat me right stories, I don't think.
Well, before I say what I would do, let me say this. If she is sitting at home and hasn't done a promo on television this year, and when's the last time you saw her have a match? I don't remember, because they kind of, that horse came and went. But if she doesn't know, I'm sitting home for X amount of time, I'm sitting home for this reason, I'm sitting home until he comes up with something else for me to do, but I'm still getting paid, whatever. If she's just completely in the dark, if he won't give her an answer or talk to her or say, look, I'll figure out something sooner or later, or you'll be back in February, or you've been off because I don't like you, or you've just been off because you were on too much, but you still get a check every week. If he hasn't said any of those things, then I would be lenient with somebody making a comment like that. If I was the booker and or the boss and I had communicated those things to her and she put that tweet out, I would immediately call her and say, well, guess what? You've uttered the last fucking word you're ever going to utter on that fucking program, bitch. Because you're trying to fucking knock me at a goddamn Twitter. Fuck you. You're fired.
Well, looking at it as being knocked is one thing, and anyone on the other side may see it that way. But to look at it from the perspective of the idea that talent possibly think that an effective way to get your message across or be heard even by the company is to do something like this.
Well, that's because they've never been in the wrestling business. And that's why that maybe the last generation who would know not to send that tweet would have come from OVW, because I'd have fired their fucking ass if there'd have been Twitter for doing the same thing. Because number one, you're calling attention to the fans that you're not important enough to have even been on TV or said a fucking word all year. Secondly, you're telling the fans publicly that you think the booker don't know what the fuck he's doing. And thirdly, who the fuck are you anyway, lady? So those are the basic three things, but that's the thing is that I don't know whether Tony has ever said boo to her about what her status is. And here's another thing. Complaining when you weren't getting booked, when you didn't get paid unless you got booked, that I support. But complaining publicly when you're a middle card individual and you're getting a check every week and your husband works there and is getting a check every week while he's been hurt for 20 of the last 24 months, I don't believe I'd be it. No, this is not the time to goddamn yank Tony Khan's chain. Is it to you?
Not particularly, just because also
they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars in their household, but millions maybe between the two of them to do very little fuck all of anything.
Right.
Yeah. If she was goddamn Rhea Ripley, the biggest fucking female star in the world, and was being hidden from the fans, and it was a shame that this talent in the prime of her life can't be exposed, that might be one thing, but it's Britt fucking Baker, and we've seen it. And Adam Cole, my God, Randy Orton came back from a fucking back fusion after a year and a half, and he looked like the fucking Thing from the Fantastic Four. Adam Cole came back from a year and a half from a concussion, and he looked like a goddamn floating corpse. So, and he's getting paid a lot of money. So, if you're not going to show some effort, at least goddamn be grateful you're getting regular fucking money and lots of it.
Well, beyond this being a Britt Baker thing, to some fans, this is more of a women's division thing. There are fans that believe that Tony's not using them enough, that he's not...
We can't get rid of the other women on AEW, just not her. The other women are all over the goddamn thing. Aren't they? I said not as much as WWE because they don't have as many, thank fuck.
I mean, they keep them to maybe one segment, and usually, you know, it's a segment. I mean, if it's Dynamite, you usually know where the women's segment is going to be. It's going to be in segment 6 or segment 7, usually.
And they natter at each other in the back. And they goddamn, they're on Rampage and Collision. It's the same goddamn shit.
Well, that was the AEW Women's Division Britt Baker update.
Yeah. Cash your check and like it, chickie.
Well, whether you're Chickie Star or a star in your own right, we all deserve something awesome. And when it comes to awesome transitions, there's no better one than the one for the Box of Awesome from our friends at Bespoke Post. How about that?
Of all the transitions I've ever heard, that is certainly the most recent. I'll tell you what, you could segue from goddamn peanut butter to battery acid fluidly and seamlessly. Brian, I'll tell you what, have you ever seen peanut butter come out of a Box of Awesome? It's even more awesome. But if you want battery acid, they got that for you too. They've got everything.
No, they don't have battery acid. Why would you even say that? They have awesome things.
If one of these fine small businesses across America that they pluck these items from and then send them on to you, if they make battery acid, I mean, if you want independently produced battery acid, I bet you that boxofawesome.com, our friends at Bespoke Post, would probably have the finest independently produced battery acid.
Now, that's the way to put it. If they did, which they don't, they would have the best, but they don't because they don't. But what they do is they have the greatest small business products.
Yes.
Like knives.
If they would, they could, but they can't, so they won't. But if they did, well, they didn't because they wouldn't, because they couldn't do that to you. But Bingo. What you do is you go to boxofawesome.com and you take a quiz, and you're graded on this quiz. If you score below a certain grade, people come to your home and commit you for a period of 72 hours.
No one will come to your home. You will not be committed.
It's a measurement by the government to make sure that they know the mindset of the citizens. So just answer these questions, and then...
What government?
Well, it depends on where you're located. But then they'll shine a flashlight in your eyes. You won't remember a thing, folks. And then every month,
you will remember. You will remember.
You'll remember when the box shows up that it's awesome is what you'll remember.
Yes.
Because it's awesome. Because a Box of Awesome shows up and you will think, well, it's like somebody read my mind. Because I love this kind of stuff. But I certainly don't remember asking anybody for it. That's where the beauty comes in. It's like a Groundhog Day of Christmas every month when this shit comes to you and
What?
you're pleased, but you don't have any idea how the fuck they knew to send you shit like this that you would like so much. And then it happens again the very next month.
A Groundhog's Day of Christmas?
It's like that. And you say, well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Here's another box of stuff I like. And I didn't even know it existed. Each box is valued at around $70, but you're going to pay a fraction of that price because, well, boxofawesome.com, they know people, and especially they know small up-and-coming brands and businesses around the country that need help and that aren't doing too well like the major big box retailers. They could always need a helping hand, help get their products out there. And Box of Awesome then collects up everything these people have and leaves them pretty much bare-walled in their brick-and-mortar stores or, penniless. And then they take all that stuff and they send it to you and they charge you a fraction of what it's worth because they don't care because they just basically confiscated all this stuff from mom and pop.
No, they did not. They care. They care about mom and pop. They work with mom and pop, and they bring mom and pop's product to all the children out there who are grown-ups, of course.
To all the little children of the world.
Over 18.
A box of awesome to the children of the world. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime unless you're one of these small mom-and-pop businesses. And NK, you need to be working your fingers to the bone making this stuff. No days off for you people.
Work at your normal pace because...
Get a nanny for the children.
These old people that are working, they need nannies?
Well, they might. Hey, old people need love, too.
You said it was for the children.
As long as you can get it on, you can get it on.
What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
If grandma gets pregnant, these things can happen.
What does this have to do with Box of Awesome?
That's because, they can't take maternity leave because they need to make these products that go in your boxes of awesome. And I mentioned the fine cooler I got, the chill cooler from the fine folks at Wren, W-R-E-N, the other day. It's a tarp-grade vinyl body with a durable waterproof base and lining, nylon webbing straps, a rust-proof zipper, and plenty of pocket space for corkscrews and sunscreen. Did they have scum screen? Can you screen yourself from having scum on you when you go in for a dip?
I thought you said skunk at first.
Well, it was screen is what I was saying there, but nevertheless, it's a great cooler and it's stylish and it holds a case of beer or 8 bottles of wine, I think it said, or all the hamburger meat you can eat in one day. But they've got all kinds of things for camping and cookouts, barbecued rubs and spices and seasonings or knives, as you mentioned, hot sauces. There's a scuba diving kit, from what I understand. I thought I saw something about that. And of course, remember, I got the the bourbon nosing kit, where I can train my nose to detect the fine quality scents in the bourbon materials here in the state of Kentucky. And all of these things, depending on your interests, can be parts of your Box of Awesome. All you got to do right now, go to boxofawesome.com, take the brief quiz. If you don't want to answer any of the questions about your sex life or your political affiliation, that's up to you. But just tell them what you're interested in. And then every month you're going to get a new box, and it's going to be awesome. And did I mention mom and pop? So right now, go to boxofawesome.com. You're going to get 20% off your first monthly box, which is valued at a fraction of what it really costs. Or did I say that right? It
is valued.
It costs a fraction of its value.
That's right.
Rather than its value.
Hey, you said that right.
Oh. Well, one way or another, you're gonna get a fraction of what you pay for here, folks. Every time. You're 100% guaranteed to get a fraction of what you pay for, courtesy of our friends at boxofawesome.com. Enter the code JCE at checkout and get 20% off your first monthly box. Boxofawesome.com. And somebody send Brian another knife.
That's right. Box of Awesome. Big fans of them here in the house. But Jim, let's continue on with this parade of terror.
Are you a big fan of them in the house? You're not a fan of them except if they're in your home?
Well, we like them here in the house. I get the Box of Awesome. Suzanne has her own.
I thought you meant the Box of Awesome people. I thought you were having them over.
No.
Trying to fucking invite him, suck up to him without me knowing it behind my back?
You can have Mom and Pa over anytime you want. Once again, we are concluding the spot as of this moment. Box of Awesome. What's that promo code, Jim?
Well, I don't know. I've fucking lost it now. JCE.
JCE, and there we go.